Welcome back, everyone. I know for some viewers, I know myself, I'm eager to get started with the topic at hand today. The title of this video, the thumbnail of this video, but there's some housekeeping things I must go through before we can get there. But for now, this is Emma's Media Mic, and as always, I'm excited to get started. So, for music this week, surprisingly, I have nothing I want to talk about, which is very rare. I feel like music is such a daily thing for me. I'm kind of just I'm going through the motions of my music consumption. I'm listening to my iPod, my CD playlist, which is on Apple Music, but I put all of my CD tracks on a playlist so I can listen to it on my phone and in my car because my new car does not have CDs, no. So I'm just kind of, going through the motions, hi, normal, nothing to write home about. So that is where we're at this week for music. Really surprising. I will say, I'm not going to put pictures on the screen because I did forget about that. I do have some new CDs that I got at work, of course, because working at a thrift store, it is just so easy to find cool music. I got 2 Sugarland CDs. Now, I'm not sure if my audience likes Sugarland. I'm not much of a country music listener, but Sugarland was definitely a music group that I enjoyed as a kid with my mom. So I got 2 CDs last week, and then yesterday I hit the jackpot. First I got Eagles, the greatest hits. We got Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, Lion Eyes. Um, you know, Peaceful, Easy Feeling. I went to Arizona about 6 years ago now. Driving through the desert, driving through the desert. Um, I'm pretty sure we were listening to an Eagle song, and I felt like I was where I was meant to be in that moment. The Eagles had written that song just for me, so love the Eagles. They're great, and this is their greatest hits album, I think. Their greatest, yeah, their greatest hits. And then this is exciting. Adam Lambert for your entertainment. If you know, you know. Adam Lambert's first studio album after American Idol. Oh my gosh! See, I saw this. I couldn't physically react, but in my head I was screaming. We have music again for your entertainment. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Strut, soaked, surefire winners, a loaded smile. If I had you, pick you up, fever, guys. Adam Lambert, that was on my HHR playlists. If you watched that episode where I talk about my old car, Adam Lambert was on those playlists because I loved him when I was first learning to drive. I've loved him since I was a kid, but I really had my Adam Lambert my Adam Lambert era when I was like 15. Anyway, then No Doubt. I have one of their albums already. I'm trying to think if I have it on my shelf. I don't know if I do. It's the one with like Sunday Morning Spiderwebs. This is No Doubt Rock Steady. Is that what it's called? Rock Steady. I just know 2 songs. Hella Good and Hey Baby. Hey baby, hey baby, hey. Anyway, jackpot in the CD department. That's kind of my music for this week. But other than that, I'm just normal. That's about it. Guys, for TV this week, I started rewatching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. If there was a letterboxed for TV, which I know there is, but it's irrelevant for this statement, if it would be my top 4. I The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I started watching it in 2020, and I've loved it ever since. Even though I've watched it multiple times over, I am just captivated by it. And I save it from times when I'm like, there's nothing I want to watch. This is I don't want to say comfort show. I mean, it is, but one of those shows I know I'm going to watch and I'm going to enjoy. For those who don't know, this is a Netflix original, but it's based off the Archie comics, which is Riverdale comics. So, like, in the show, Riverdale and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, basically, not the TV show Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Sabrina Spellman in this show, they are in neighboring towns. They reference Riverdale, and I don't know if Riverdale ever referenced the show, but it's crazy. It's weird. They're completely different shows. I did watch Riverdale when it came out, but I would not say it is a good show, in my opinion. It was good, and then it just kind of got weird. But I guess it's reflecting the comments. Okay, back to Sabrina. It is a horror, supernatural, dark fantasy show, and it is completely different in vibes and honestly, pretty much everything from the 90s Sabrina the Teenage Witch sitcom. Same characters, but completely different vibes. This is a very dark tale. This is the Wikipedia summary of it. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is an American supernatural horror television series developed by Netflix. Based on the Archie comic book series of the same name, it ran from October 2018 to December 2020. I started watching it February 2020. So I caught it at the latter half, but I was obsessed. So it was for 2 seasons, but it was split into 4 parts. They released it in like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. The series centered on the Archie Comics character Sabrina Spellman, portrayed by Kiernan Shipka, and also stars Ross Lynch. I'm trying to find who else would be relevant. Jess Sinclair, Gavin Leatherwood. Originally developed for the CW in September 2017, the series was intended to be a companion series to Riverdale. What? However, in December 2017, the project was moved to Netflix with a straight-to-series order consisting of 20 episodes. Filming took place in Vancouver. Wow. So the premise basically is Sabrina is in high school, and on her 16th birthday, she has to choose. I mean, she really doesn't have a choice, but technically she can choose that she can join, what do they call it? The dark side. That's kind of the easiest way to explain it. She can become a witch on her 16th birthday, but she has this whole life. She has her mortal life. She has her boyfriend who's Ross Lynch. She has all these friends, and she's a really good person, but she's kind of born into being a witch basically, but she has to sign her name in the Book of the Dead or Book of the Beast or Book of the Devil. I don't know. And there's a lot of manipulation going on to make her do it, and it's just kind of like a coming of age horror spooky. Anyway, that's the best way I can describe it for people who are not familiar. But this show, in the vibes, in the set design, the costume design, the plots, I am just obsessed. That's all I can think of saying is I'm obsessed. Rewatching it, I'm only on episode 3, but it reminding me of good TV. Genuinely good TV that I resonate with. I mean, there's TV for everyone, and this is certainly for me. I recommend it to anybody who likes a little spooky, a little horror. Um, and honestly, part 3 gets really crazy, and it really messes with the morality of the characters and the perception of the plot. Basically, there's some time travel, and if you're thinking of it as Riverdale, please don't. It's nothing like Riverdale at all. I will be updating you on my rewatch. I've only made it a couple episodes in. I will be updating this podcast on my thoughts after, I think, my fourth rewatch, fourth, one of the two. So stay tuned if you're interested to hear my thoughts on that. I'm, again, still kind of in that early stages of rewatching, so I think I'm gonna die in this house. That's right, you guys. The time has come. I am going to be giving my thoughts and ideas about Wuthering Heights. Now, if you've watched every single episode, it's been on my upcoming excited for, what do I call it? It's just called upcoming. The things I'm looking forward to for weeks. I have loved Emerald Fennell's movie discography. No, discography is for music. Filmography. Her directing collection. I don't know what the word is. She directed Promising Young Woman, which is on my top 4. Watched that. Loved it. Loved the set. Loved the coloring. Loved the directing style. Loved the cinematography. Loved it. She directed Saltburn. Oh, are you for real? That was last week's episode. Now, Wuthering Heights. Oh, guys, there's some drama. There's some drama. And I really want to tread lightly here and give you my thoughts and opinions, but really open up the space for conversation. Wholeheartedly, I would love to talk to people about this movie in a very neutral space and a very neutral perspective. But there's a lot of hard feelings and distaste and a lot of things. So, I guess to begin, should I start with my thoughts or the public's thoughts? Let's do the public's thoughts. So the reception of this movie is not great. I'm actually going to open up Letterboxd and see what the average rating between 0 and 5 is. Doo doo doo. So yeah, between 1 and 5, I'm sorry, 1 and 5, it's a 2.9. So, I mean, that it's pretty much in the middle. There's people who loved it, and people who hated it. The discourse I've been seeing about this film is that it's not a good reflection or representation of the book. And I have to agree to an extent. The book was written 1800s. Emily Bronte. I am very limited in knowledge about this, so if you know more and you want to talk to me about it, I'd love to talk to you. I can understand how you'd be upset right now with what I'm about to say. It was written in the 1800s by a woman who had never been in a relationship, which I mean, preach to the choir here, right? Anyway, it's a very loved and studied novel, and I mean that's amazing. I tried reading it. I didn't get very far. I just learned that there's a version of it with modern prose, modern language, so I would have to investigate that because I would love to know the actual written version of this story. People are not pleased. I guess I'll have to talk about my thoughts first. So, my understanding that Emerald Fennel, it's an inspiration. What am I saying? This movie was an inspiration from the book. It's inspired by the book. It is not a true adaptation of the written text. Now, people have their thoughts and they have their opinions, mostly negative, but for me, watching this movie, I went in kind of with an open mind, knowing that I love Emerald's directing style. I love her cinematography and I love her use of color. From her previous films, I knew going into it that I had high expectations for the visuals. I had very little expectations for the plot. I kind of roughly knew that Heathcliff and Catherine were lovers, but they weren't. It was kind of like awkward and weird. They knew each other since they were kids, and it just was tense. I just knew going into it, it was going to be a tense story. And it obviously was. This movie was definitely a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind. I'm obsessed with the visuals. At the very minimum, I'm obsessed with the visuals. Let's go into it. Let's get into it. So I've included a lot of pictures. I've kind of covered the entire screen, as you've noticed, with pictures. First, catching my eye is the connection to Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is a classic book, but also a 4-hour long movie that I did watch, and I was pulling my hair out at the end. Classic movie though, so it's of course it's held in high regard. This movie, Emerald's choices really reflect that classic movie. The movie poster looks like the movie poster, as you can see. The movie poster is on the right hand side, and the Gone with the Wind example is on the left hand side. The red sky in Gone with the Wind, something's on fire. I'm pretty sure. I really forgot. It was 4 hours, and I forgot. Fire and something. The sky was red. So now in Wuthering Heights, Jacob Elordi rides his horse off in the distance in this red sky after he gets broken up or he is heartbroken by Catherine. Oh, red is heartbreak. I'm starting to realize this movie in red, it's all about heartbreak and tension. Anyway, that's why I like it, because you're making these connections like, okay, that's just like Gone with the Wind. I can make these connections with color. Color was a big thing. So that was what I was enjoying most about the movie, was the color and the set design, the visuals, like I keep saying. Where was I going with this? Basically, yes, I have included visuals such as it's really small. It's Catherine going back to Wuthering Heights in a red cloak. I'm pretty sure that's Catherine. I can't remember. It's been a week since I watched it. The red cloak, the stunning set. It's just like it's just amazing. Moving from the set to the clothing. Okay, I included a picture of Catherine wearing this like silky. Oh, I know if I touched that dress, it's the black one. If I touched it, it would make like a scratching noise. It would be kind of like scritchy. I don't know how to describe it. Watching it, I'm like, oh my God, I want to like feel that dress. If I'm watching it with my eyeballs and it makes me want to touch it, that it's an impact. It has an impact. And for the story set in the 1800s, told in modern day, it has to, and I like that Emerald blends those motifs and those vibes. The movie was it was ambiguous. It wasn't totally ambiguous with the time period, but it really blended the modern, the colorful, and all of it. It was just like surreal and dreamlike, and that's where I think people have a problem with, but I digress. Continuing with my clothing. So we got the black dress up there, but then I also included a picture of her in this latex red dress. What? That, I mean, I wish I had better ways to describe this and how I feel. It's kind of all just coming out in like blurs. I don't even know. Anyway, I'm going to move past the visuals because you can tell I love them. I'm moving on to the plot. The plot's messy, you guys. The plot is messy. These characters, all they had to do was simply communicate to each other, and they didn't. And that's what caused so much heartbreak and so much tension and so much negativity. They're so negative to each other. It was just horrible. I included 2 screenshots from the movie. The first one being Jake Belordi. You can see him kind of turning his head, sort of crying. Watching this is at the end of the movie. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but it's at the end of the movie when a big reveal happens and he is confronted with his feelings and it's not good and he kind of knows what's going on and I'm trying not to spoil it, by the way. He is facing Catherine's husband and this Jacob Lordy, the actor you are. I've only ever seen you in a fuckboy vibe, right? So seeing him with this like lump in his throat, not fully looking at someone, confronting his feelings, his sadness, his despair, so subtly, but also not, like his eyes. That scene in the theaters, I was like, whoa, Jacob, okay, I can see you. You're more than just a tall man. I mean, very, I can't even talk. Very well done. I will say that. That scene, I've thought about it every single day since watching. So hats off to you, Jacob. And then the picture of Catherine, with the blindfold on. It was a montage scene of her living at this mansion, and a song that's been used a lot is "Chains of Love" from the Wuthering Heights soundtrack, performed by Charlie XCX. That song's playing, and it goes from her being super happy, playing games, being rich, living this awesome life, and then it's the same concept. I think if they're playing some sort of like tag with her eyes covered or something, this is her happy version. I couldn't find the part where she's crawling on the floor with that song playing when it says the chains of the da-da. Okay. This happens every single time I record. I'm like on a one track and I can't think of something else that's super important to the story. The chains of love are cruel and it's the breaking of my heart or whatever, and she's crawling on the floor with her eyes blindfolded. It was just super well done with music. I love when music perfectly fits into a movie, and that was like, for me, top 10 moments. Actually, probably not, but I've thought about it every single day and I cannot wait to rewatch it and experience it again. Now, I completely understand that the last 14 minutes of me talking basically has been nothing but mumbling and craziness, but if you've watched the movie, you get it. And if you haven't, don't listen to me for any summary or recap because that's certainly not what I'm doing. And I know for a fact that in the future I'm going to listen to this back and be really frustrated with myself, but it's just kind of all coming out at once. My thoughts don't align with the majority's thoughts. I love this movie. I gave it a 4.5. Mostly, again, for the visuals, the costume design, but the storyline is a little different. I don't want to say a little because some people might reject that. The story is different than the book. 1000%. It glosses over some hard topics. The movie doesn't acknowledge every little detail from the book. Of course, it's not going to, but I want to finish this part of the podcast and this topic with it's an inspiration movie. It's inspired by the book. It's not a true adaptation. It never meant to be. Emerald has a very deep understanding of movie telling, storytelling. This movie might not have been her strongest to some, but for me, it was saying so much without actually saying it, and I think a lot of people missed it about specifically the romance of it all. I think it's a big topic, and people thought it was going to be a romance, but it's certainly not. I mean, there is love in it, but it's not what the movie was, what it is, even though people thought it was going to be that. With all of that to say, I love this movie. And if you look at me differently now because I like this movie, I'm sorry. But I love it and I can't not love it. So I would love to actually talk about it in the comments. Let's have a conversation. I probably will get really scared if it's negative towards me. I will have to admit that. But yes, I need to stop talking because I could just keep talking. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So that's my Letterboxd review. Guys, that was a lot, and I've been thinking about it every day. It's in the past now. It's been said. Upcoming, same as last week. Robin, Muna, my friends did see How to Make a Killing, and I actually didn't ask them how it was. I should have asked them. Actually, no, I don't want any spoilers. I'm looking forward to that. It's an A24 movie. Love Glenn Powell. I don't love Glenn Powell. I meant to say love A24, comma, Glenn Powell is in it. But anyways, Euphoria season 3. I was watching a YouTube video today about the recap, and I must continue. I want to rewatch the entire show, season 1 through 2, but that's a big commitment. And maybe I'll watch like the end of season 2 or something. But anyway, Oscars are coming like a month from now, which is really exciting. So anyway, I gotta be done. I'm sorry. I feel like I just kind of jumbled, and got my way through it. But anyway, as always, thank you for listening, and I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.